me like 7 times, y'all, to get on this thing on live. But I was trying to talk about alignment and what alignment really means, or just like my interpretation of being aligned and how important it is. Like I grew up in church, so um I remember the pastor used to say, like the anointing flows down, the anointing flows down, the anointing flows down, the anointing flows down. Like you would hear that all the time. Like every pastor, even when a practicing pastor would come to your come to your church, they'll be like, the anointing flows down. And so I don't know why lately I've been really thinking about like my attachments, like who I'm connected to and what they have going on, and like just so many different little things. And I'm just like, okay, is this like me being like just overly anal, or is this reality? And as I continue to study and as I continue to grow in life, because even you could have like degrees, you could be um high in the spiritual community, or you could be high in your walk of life, but the journey never stops. Like your journey never stops. Your journey goes over and over and over and over again. Like your journey forever continues. Like you could be 70 years old and you still on a journey. Like you are literally still, yeah, excuse me for a second because I feel like my lips are dry, but you are still on a journey. And I think that we kind of forget that as we go through life. I gotta do something about these dry lips though, y'all, because you can't be up here with dry lips. But you can't expect for the journey to stop. So lately I've been like, okay, I know I'm on this journey, like I'm on this journey of life, and I'm learning new things. Like I'm learning more and more about different things. And whatever I learn, I always teach out. And whatever message I get, I always just message that message out. And it's just something about this alignment that has really been like nudging at me, like being aligned, being in alignment, being in the space where you need to be to receive what you need to receive. And I'm not talking about money. Like a lot of times we get caught up on money and we get caught up on like this financial stuff, because I know everybody is in a space in their life where it's like, I need money. I need money. I need to pay my bills. I need to do this. I need food. I need blah, 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 blah. But I get that. You know what I'm saying? That's always going to be there. But there are other things that you need to receive. There are other things that you need to receive. There are other things that need to come into your life. There are other lessons and there are other movements that you need to make other than money. And the money will come, like the money will flow in when you're in alignment. And I think that's like where we need to be, is we need to figure out what is aligned with us. Morally is where I begin to struggle, because my morals go so deep. Like my morals go so deep, like I don't even cuss in front of my mom. And I know like some people like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? They like, hey, they like, I cussed in front of my mom. I have never cussed in front of and I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But I have never cussed in front of my mom. So it's like, where are your morals? Like where's your respect? Where is your love, and where is your honesty? And I'm not saying you have to be like me and you have to not, do certain things, but just it doesn't align with me. Like it doesn't align with me at all. It doesn't align with me. So you have to figure out what are your morals, like what are your values, what are your truths, what are your, like what is it that make you feel kind of like, ooh, that make me a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm still doing it. So how do you change it? How do you change it? Like everybody's like, well, I want to change, but how do I change? Step by step, moment by moment, second by second. When you see something that you don't like, change it. And you may go back and do that thing again. But I think the issue is that we beat ourselves up too much. Like we literally will beat ourselves down about one thing and then we'll give up. Like we will give up and we will give in and we'll say, you know what? I'm just not doing that anymore. So you got to figure it out. And I know you can. I know you can. A lot of times people think like a coach is like a therapist, but we're not therapy, like we're not therapists. We help you figure it out. We ask you the questions to open up your mind, open up your spirit, and for you to figure it out. Most times clients are like, they're talking, and I'm just pulling out significant things that they say over and over again, because those things really matter to them. So, in your alignment, what really matters to you? Like being aligned with what? What really matters to you? Because I'm confused about what really matters to people at this time. Like I'm thinking like everybody's like on a free for all, like YOLO, like we're gonna do whatever we want to do when we want to do it, and we're gonna treat people however we want to treat them, and we're not gonna like, like we're just not gonna care. And then I know somebody asked me earlier, like, what do you do when somebody upsets you? And I told them you do nothing, you say nothing, you discontinue them from your life. You don't even think about discontinuing them from their life. If somebody does something to you and you know that there is no talking to them, there is no nothing, you just, hey, you never existed. And I know that sounds harsh, but why would you continue in that negative energy trying to battle with someone that's not going to understand how you feel? It just doesn't add up. So you want to do things that are going to add up. You want to do things that are going to keep you aligned. So sometimes you have to just like, hey, you know what? That bothered me. I tried to talk to you. You didn't listen. And guess what? I got to discontinue this. And you don't have to explain to them because people know exactly what they do. I got to the age, and I think, like I said, I'm a little older. So I've gotten to the age where I don't explain to people anymore what they did because you know what you did. I just remove myself, and you have to learn, remove yourself. It's okay. It's okay if you remove yourself because you're saying, like, I don't want to be attached to that. That does not align up with who I am, where I'm going, and what I'm doing. And like I said in the beginning, I just keep thinking, like, I grew up in church. So I keep thinking about that one thing the pastor would say. Every pastor would say this over the pulpit: the anointing flows down. So whatever that person is dealing with and you're attached to them, you're going to start dealing with that thing eventually. Whether it's jealousy, whether it's hatred, whether it's financial problems, whatever it is, you're going to eventually start dealing with that. So at what point do you say, I don't want to deal with this thing and I'm going to remove myself? At what point do you do that? I say you do it at the beginning. And maybe you feel like I'm not strong enough to do that. But you have to gather that strength up and you have to remove the fear or do it scared. That's my favorite thing to say. Do it scared. If there's something that you know, like this doesn't align with my life, do it scared. It doesn't matter. Do it scared. Trembling, tears in your eyes, heartbroken, frustrated, angry, and then don't go back. Don't go back. There are so many things, like I've gotten older, so I'm not one of the people that like I I I believe in God and I things like that, but there's just some things that, contradict each other in this world. But I remember the last couple of months, I remember because I used to have to in the summertime like read the Bible. So and I remember certain things that, like certain scriptures and stuff and that I've applied to my life, right? That I apply it to my life because it's a good practice. And I'm just thinking, like, I don't know. Does anything in this world, I don't know about y'all, but y'all know this world is crazy. Like, this world is getting crazier and crazier and crazier every single day. I worked from home for like 10 years, and being outside of home and working is wild. I don't know how y'all do it every day. I don't know how y'all do it and stay in the right mind frame. I don't know how y'all do it and stay positive, stay focused and stay grounded without having to do extra to stay grounded. Because once you walk outside of your house, you are now dealing with like all these energies. But not only are you dealing with these energies, the traffic, people cutting you off, blah, 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 all these different things, the hustle and bustle, all that stuff. And then you could go to a job and then that job could be frustrating and makes you angry or whatever the case may be. So my prayer today is peace for people. So because this is crazy. But I just wanted to get on for a minute and just have a talk about alignment. I'll come back later and we'll go a little bit more deeper into alignment. But I was waiting for my son. So I said, what an opportunity to just get online and talk for a little bit and prepare for alignment. Make sure you watch the podcast tonight. The inner knowing. I think that I think that that one was like a little bit different. I didn't even feel like myself doing this podcast. So, but it airs tonight. The Interknowing. I just didn't even feel like myself. I felt like a whole nother person doing that podcast, just reading my notes, and it was different. So make sure you watch that, and I'll come back later, and we'll go back. We'll go a little bit more in depth about alignment and how important it is to be aligned. So I'll talk to y'all later.